right, so I was gonna do biscuits, but I think today what I'm trying to do is prove that you can make something edible relatively easy without yeast. So I'm going to go for soda bread. Soda bread was used by the Irish, and they had very little, especially in the 1800s when they were being starved out of their own nation. They didn't have a lot, so soda bread was one of their staples. So I found a recipe here. I'm gonna start with 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/4 cup of salt, and 1/4 cup of, or sorry, not a cup, sorry, strike that, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and a 1/2 tablespoon of sugar. So I'll get that. Yes, I've got Irish ancestry in me as well. Irish and Scottish, Welsh, English. It's a whole mixed bag. And of course, they were in the United States since the early 1600s. These were the original settlers. Some of them. Some of them came over later. So this is a 1/2 tablespoon of sugar. So now I have a 1/2 cup of milk, into which I'm going to put a tablespoon of white vinegar. We're going to leave this set for about 10 minutes. We just want that to sour. Alright, so this milk has curdled, so I'm just going to put this in two swats. I had mixed up the ingredients beforehand, and now we're just going to... Now my milk, as I mentioned before, I buy powdered milk and I make it up as I want it. Nothing ever goes bad, and that is something that's good to have on hand. It can be stored. You don't need a refrigerator, and you can actually live off of it if you had to. So alright, so this is actually quite goopy. I may actually end up having to put a little bit more flour in here. Alrighty, now I did add a little bit more flour. It was really sticky, and I thought, it doesn't look good. So I'm just going to put some flour down here and put this out onto the flour. Now they do say it is going to be sticky. And as I mentioned, I haven't made this before, so we'll see. Yeah. And they also mentioned they wanted some flour on the top, and to knead this 8 to 10 times. So and they say it will be sticky, and it sure is. Okay, I haven't really been counting, but I'm more just going for the consistency I'm looking for. It's like, what feels good? Well, that kind of feels about right. So I'm also going to form this into a ball. And then I'm going to cut across the top of this. All right, so now just going to slice this, not all the way through, but just enough to make a mark, and kind of like 3/4 of the way through. All right. Piece doesn't want to stick on, so I'm just going to mold that back in here. All right, so I've got the oven preheated at 400, and I've got the parchment paper on the baking sheet. I'm just going to lift this up, put it on the baking sheet, and put that into the oven for between 20 and 25 minutes. So in the end, I let this stay in the oven for 25 minutes, and we are good to go. I did rub it down with some butter. It says it has a tough crust, and it does, so I rubbed it down with some butter, and we're just about ready to eat. Ooh, a little bit warm. Just open that up. Oh, that looks so good.